Let's first look at the path to transform the environment. Have you thought about this question? Rotation creates an environment close to Earth's gravity. We humans. There's a gap between luck and the statistical probability that it will come. Will you be trapped on this blue planet forever? If the end of the world does come, where should we run? Can we find a home address in space? In this connection, in fact, modern science has given some clues. For example, on Earth, some microorganisms can survive extreme high-pressure environments in the deep sea, can endure the strong acid and high temperatures of hot springs, can even withstand radiation doses enough to kill humans. Some microorganisms can survive for years in frozen environments. Others go dormant, wait for the right environment to wake up again. In the lab, scientists found when there is dust blocking it, bacteria can even survive for short periods of time in a vacuum. In addition, Van Dronglen's hypothesis also points out that rock fragments produced by celestial impacts. Perhaps we can transform simple life from one planet to another. For example, the recent fire 3I+ comets. Inside these objects, rocks can act as radiation barriers. It also helps maintain a stable temperature. This means that life may be able to board these natural capsules across the universe. Since the most tenacious simple life can do this, so why not humans? The answer may be, human survival needs are far more complex than microorganisms. Our survival cannot depend solely on water and energy. We need a complete ecosystem, breathable air, safely treated recycled water. There is also a variety of foods to avoid nutritional deficiencies. Also requires enough gravity to maintain strong muscles and bones. A magnetic field or protective barrier is also needed to block the radiation. In addition, there are also some needs that are difficult to measure with data. For example, we need windows, need scenery, need the warmth of the sun on your face, need someone who can pretend to be a person without wearing a helmet. Steps from the human nature is actually a biological attribute. It also has psychological attributes, both of which are indispensable. Even so, planners and scientists still came up with some bold solutions. The space ark is one of them. This is a giant habitat thousands of meters long, can support tens of thousands of people or even hundreds of thousands of people to live for generations. It's not a shuttle spacecraft, but a mobile home where humans can live for a long time. To simulate gravity, the spacecraft will spin slowly, generating centrifugal force on the inner cylindrical wall. Farm will be laid on the inside of the cylindrical wall. Diving lake in arched community. If you look up at this cylindrical sky, you'll see another city upside down across the street. But everything needs to be in balance. If the spacecraft were in the solar system, energy will be abundant. Giant solar collector converts sunlight into electricity. Water resources can be recycled endlessly like on a space station, only on a much larger scale. The air is powered by internal forests and life support systems, joint manufacturing and filtration, judging from basic mathematical calculations. This is completely feasible. But there is always a gap between theory and reality. How to keep this going day after day is the real challenge. To complicate matters, the vastness of the universe is far beyond our imagination. This vastness cannot be conquered by willpower. It takes time, a period where no generation willing to bear the long time alone. If you think the solution is to go to another star, new problems will arise again. What transportation should we take? How long does the journey take? Even if we can reach speeds close to the speed of light, collisions with interstellar dust can also become high-energy hazards. Giant spacecraft requires heavy protective layers. extremely high redundancy and sufficient original material reserves, but also the entire civilization on board, ability to repair any failure. After all, spacecraft failure is inevitable. Even so, the journey may still last for hundreds of years. Those on board the ship knew very well they're not heading to another planet, but inside the spacecraft, build a whole new world, just like what Zhang Beihai did in the Three Body. Of course, the fact that humans survive in space, technically the answer is yes, but technically feasible is not the same as feasible on a human time scale. If the goal is long-term survival in space, there are two options. Either transform the space environment to adapt to humans, or transform humans to adapt themselves to the space environment. The first path is more intuitive. Build habitats that simulate the Earth's environment. The second path is disturbing.
我们先来看改造环境的路径。
But it may be an inevitable choice. By transforming human thinking and culture,
类似奥尼尔圆柱体的栖息地。
to deal with problems that engineering technology cannot solve.
通过旋转产生接近地球重力的环境。
Now, imagine a habitat similar to O'Neill's cylinder. 2 or 3 twin cylinders connected. Inside each cylinder, there will be agricultural areas, forests, and artificial lakes. Sewage treatment station with controllable water circulation system, and also have diverse biomes. To maintain biodiversity, provides a comprehensive diet. It also adjusts light and humidity. Legislation that simulates the changes of the 4 seasons. This is actually not the space station anymore, but a pressurized hollow continent. If this habitat is far away from the sun, solar panels can be combined, replaced by long-life nuclear reactors, and establish internal supply chains based on asteroid mining. Every asteroid rock provides gold, silicon, and ice. Logistics system will integrate the 3 major links of mining, manufacturing, and recycling. The most precious currency at this time is no longer gold, but a low quotient and orderly system, available energy and reusable materials. But this path also has many hidden dangers. The first is the radiation problem. In the deep space environment, solar protons and high-energy cosmic rays, it's like hail piercing through a fragile roof, penetrate human DNA, although polyethylene can be used through water, protection from rock layers or artificial magnetic fields. But these protective measures will increase the quality of the habitat, and the greater the quality, the higher the cost of acceleration and control. Second is the microgravity problem. If the rotation speed is insufficient, the human body will gradually weaken. If the rotation speed is too fast, it causes nausea and affects balance. The second is the ecological issue. Maintain long-term stability of a closed ecosystem. It's a science that we're just starting out. Even small imbalances can lead to silent collapse. This is the mathematics of life. Thousands of variables are constantly influencing each other. In addition, there is also the human factor. The space ark is not just a spacecraft. It is also a city. It will be like our modern society. People can be full of contradictions. How to prevent internal disputes? Destroy a project that will last generations. How to maintain scarce technical careers, like surgeons, reactor engineers. Talent pool for closed system ecologists, especially when cultural trends may tilt towards other occupations. Maybe through mandatory curriculum incentives, or use artificial intelligence as a living. Maintain a knowledge base to solve. There is also the issue of emotional bandwidth. How should people vent their emotions without disrupting the critical systems that support everyone's lives? At this point, group psychology became part of a life support system. Perhaps because of these challenges, some people advocate choosing another path. That is to transform humans to adapt to the space environment, like through genetic modification, improve human tolerance to radiation, optimize metabolism, allowing them to adapt to a more limited diet, and withstand varying gravity, chip device implanted inside the body, real-time monitoring of human status, correct minor defects before they develop into diseases. There are even more radical ideas. Migrating human consciousness into artificial vehicles, develop a digital awareness. In this way, long interstellar journey is no longer a biological obstacle. And this also changes the nature of the problem. Humans can survive in space. But could humans at that time still be called humans? As we discuss these issues, there is actually a middle road to choose from. Perhaps the first practical step towards space, and that is in the inner solar system, establishing large-scale human settlements. We don't have to jump all at once to the nearest star to the solar system. You can escape the dilemma of relying entirely on the Earth for survival. We can move in high orbit, or Lagrange points around the moon, or stable light, and far from the asteroid mining site. In solar orbit that takes only a few months. Building habitat. Multiple O'Neill S-cylinder habitats can form a colony zone through regular cargo routes. Interconnection with personnel transportation. It's like a space island. Each island has sufficient self-sufficiency. At the same time, they can exchange resources and knowledge with other islands. So what role do asteroids play in this? In addition to providing raw materials, asteroids themselves may also become homes. We can dig holes inside asteroids. Using the asteroid's own water, resources are transformed into radiation barriers. Transform it into a mining and scientific research base. This habitat may be not as good as the Green Valley in the original, poetic, but more practical. Less protective materials need to be transported. Lower risk of exposure to radiation. Raw materials are also close at hand. Many of these habitats, probably just a temporary construction site, until the size of the world's spacecraft expand enough to support long-term residents. Even in this scenario of inhabitation in the solar system, the vastness of the universe still reminds us we cannot defeat space, can only coexist with it. But at this time, the mathematics of survival changed. Build multiple homes on different orbits, far more than relying on the same home on the same planet. More resilient. Humanity is no longer a single point of failure. It has multiple guarantees. Eventually, we will face this dilemma. When we live outside the Earth, what kind of human you want to be? If you choose the path of the world's spacecraft, don't forget to like your live in a space city that will never land. See you in the next video. Children under the curved ceiling sky. Birth and aging. Legend of the Blue Planet. It will be like the story of the ancient garden, passed down from the vague memories of my great-grandparents. Festivals that simulate rainfall, accompanied by the drizzle of program control, with the smell of artificial ozone, will become a precious luxury moment in the calendar. Real stars can be seen in the window, but the wind is controlled by software. This is a possible world. But is it the world we want? Maybe so. If you want to preserve the essence of human beings, we need to use rituals to replace that nature once gave us for free, like walking in the inner forest, outdoor schools in simulated Earth gravity, classes to adapt cylinders, sports invented by rotation, and lunar park in simulated lunar gravity environment. In the space arc, culture is no longer just entertainment. It's a project to maintain psychological stability. Of course, we also have to decide How much risk are you willing to take for this? Space society must attach great importance to courage in design. All systems must have backup. Critical systems even require triple backups. Everyone needs emergency training. There must be a clear chain of command in a crisis. Even so, there is no guarantee that nothing will happen. The vastness of the universe does not negotiate with us. A failure, it could destroy the entire cylinder habitat. A rare accident, it could put all plans in vain. Our comfort and best strategy lies in diversity. Like seeds scattered in the solar wind, give multiple space arcs multiple habitats. Various forms of human survival, scattered throughout the universe. Even if one of them falls, others can still move forward. Humanity is no longer a single statue. It's a vivid mosaic puzzle. Can humans survive in space? There is a two-tiered answer to this question. Judging from the possibilities, we can do it. Because physics doesn't prohibit this possibility. Engineering technology can also glimpse the path to realization. Judging from necessity, we should do the same. Because we always rely on one planet. Equivalent to, there's a gap between luck and the statistical probability that it will come. Have taken a gamble, and the risk of the latter will one day come. But the most important thing is the third level. In this process, what kind of humans do we want to be? If we embrace the concept of a world spacecraft, it means we admit you can take your home with you. Means the sky can be a curved ceiling. It means that the sunrise can be when the lights. The process of gradually brightening in 20 minutes. It makes us small, or makes us more resilient. Perhaps, the answer depends on how we tell the story. Like we didn't escape the Earth. It's that we transcend the limitations of the planet. It's not that we hate this planet, but we love it enough, not willing to put all the bets on him. The Earth will always be our place of origin, and hopefully will always be one of our homes. But the human species, this curious, creative, and willful species, its historical chapter should be longer than a planet can carry. Final analysis. The vastness of the universe needs no conquest. Just sail. And the true meaning of sailing is acceptance. You cannot control the ocean. Only learn to use the power of the wind. The space ark is such a ship. It sails in the void. By those hands that tremble but never let go, hold the rudder tightly. Guide the direction. If you can see here, let me know. Would you like to live on a world ship? Are you willing to leave the surface of the Earth, living in a rotating cylinder in dark space, with artificial forests and recycling kettles? Or would you rather put everything, all on this blue planet,